Success is attracted by alignment, not wishes, because wishing alone keeps you in a state of desire without movement, while alignment puts every part of your life in agreement with the outcome you want. When you align your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior with the vision you're pursuing, you create a force that pulls opportunities toward you. People who rely only on wishes stay stuck in imagination, but people who operate in alignment transform imagination into inevitability through consistent internal and external shifts that match their goals. Alignment means your inner world and outer world are speaking the same language. If you dream of success, but think in doubt, speak in limitation, and act in hesitation, you break the very frequency you need to attract better results. The universe responds to consistency, not contradictions. When your mindset, your words, and your actions all tell the same story, you become a magnet for progress. You no longer chase opportunities because your presence, discipline, and commitment begin to draw them in naturally. It also requires radical truth. You cannot align with a goal you're not honest about. If you want abundance but secretly believe you're unworthy of it, you create internal resistance that blocks your progress. Alignment demands that you confront every belief that argues against your potential. It pushes you to reprogram self-doubt, replace it with confidence, and act from the identity of someone who knows they deserve the results they're reaching for. Internal alignment is the first transformation before any external breakthrough can occur. Wishes require nothing of you, but alignment requires responsibility. It forces you to examine your habits, the people around you, the environments you tolerate, and the distractions you allow. You cannot align with a higher life while clinging to lower level behaviors. Success responds when your daily habits reflect your future, not your past. When you consistently choose discipline over comfort, focus over noise, and growth over stagnation, you step into a version of yourself that naturally attracts higher outcomes. Alignment also shapes your emotional state. You cannot attract success while living in fear, frustration, or resentment. Those emotions lower your frequency and disrupt your clarity. Instead, alignment calls you to cultivate emotions like gratitude, confidence, and determination, because these create the internal atmosphere where ideas flow, decisions sharpen, and momentum grows. Emotional alignment is not about ignoring challenges, but about refusing to let negative emotions dictate your direction. Your vocabulary must align as well. The words you speak create a blueprint for your future. When your language reflects strength, commitment, and expectation, you reinforce the vision you're pursuing. But when you speak in excuses, complaints, and limitations, you weaken your ability to attract success. Speaking in alignment means declaring what you're becoming rather than repeating what you've been. It means using your voice to build the path ahead of you instead of describing the obstacles behind you. Another layer of alignment is your standards. You cannot attract success while tolerating environments, behaviors, and relationships that drain your energy or distract you from purpose. Alignment means raising your standards so that everything in your life, from how you spend your time to the company you keep, supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. When you tolerate less, you create space for more. Your standards become the filter that protects your growth. Alignment requires consistency. Anyone can feel motivated for a day, but aligned individuals maintain their focus long after the excitement fades. They don't wait for the right mood to take action. Instead, they act because their identity demands it. They move because their vision is non-negotiable. Success is drawn to this level of steadiness. When you show up repeatedly with clarity and commitment, you send a signal that you're ready for bigger opportunities. Your future also demands aligned decisions. Every choice you make either supports or sabotages your vision. Alignment means making decisions as the future version of yourself would, not the current one. It means choosing long-term elevation over short-term comfort, choosing growth over stagnation, choosing discipline over distraction. When your decisions match your desired identity, you step into alignment effortlessly and powerfully. Ultimately, alignment turns success from a distant hope into an inevitable trajectory. When your thoughts, emotions, actions, standards, and decisions all point in the same direction, you create momentum that can't be stopped. Wishes leave your future to chance, but alignment builds it deliberately. The law of attraction is a mirror because it reflects back to you the beliefs, expectations, and emotional patterns you carry within. What you hold in your inner world eventually shows up in your outer world, not because of magic, but because your mindset influences your decisions. Your decisions shape your behavior, and your behavior creates your outcomes. When people look at their circumstances and feel confused, they often forget that life is responding to the signals they've been sending consistently through thoughts and emotions long before the results appeared. This mirror doesn't show what you casually think about, it shows what you repeatedly affirm through your dominant thoughts. If you constantly tell yourself that life is hard, opportunities are scarce, or success is out of reach, the mirror reflects situations that validate those beliefs. Your mind begins to filter out possibilities and focus on limitations, creating a self-fulfilling cycle. The law of attraction is always working, but most people unintentionally use it against themselves by maintaining inner narratives that contradict the results they claim to desire. The mirror also reflects your emotional frequency. Your emotions are signals you broadcast into the world, and they shape the kind of energy you interact with. Fear attracts chaos. Doubt attracts delay. Frustration attracts more obstacles, but confidence attracts clarity. Gratitude attracts opportunities. Belief attracts momentum. The mirror doesn't judge your emotions, it simply reflects them back in the form of people, circumstances, and outcomes that match your internal state. Changing your emotional frequency is often the first step toward changing your reality. Your internal identity plays a major role in this reflection. If deep down you see yourself as someone who is unworthy, incapable, or not destined for greatness, the mirror responds by sending you experiences that reinforce that identity. But the moment you begin to shift how you see yourself, when you start recognizing your value and embracing your potential, the mirror shifts too. It starts revealing pathways that were always there, but hidden by your previous self-perception. The law of attraction responds to who you believe you are, not who you wish you could be. The mirror also exposes your patterns. If you consistently entertain negative thinking, indulge in self-doubt, or speak words that diminish your future, the mirror provides external confirmation of those internal habits. But when you develop patterns of positivity, discipline, and intentional focus, the reflection changes. The law of attraction magnifies whatever you nourish. This is why habit building is so powerful. It programs your reflection before the results become visible. By the time success appears, you've already aligned with it internally. Your environment can amplify or distort the mirror. Being surrounded by people who complain, gossip, or live in fear shifts your focus toward the same frequency. You begin to reflect the negative energy you absorb. But when you place yourself around people who think bigger, dream boldly, and act with conviction, the mirror begins to show a different reality. Their energy influences your own, raising your internal standards and shaping a reflection that aligns with growth. Environment matters because it reinforces the quality of your inner signals. The mirror also responds to your level of clarity. When you're unclear about what you want, the reflection becomes foggy. You attract mixed results, inconsistent opportunities, and scattered experiences. But the moment you become clear, truly clear about your goals, your values, and the direction you choose to move in, the mirror sharpens. You begin to notice opportunities that match your vision, often because clarity activates awareness. The law of attraction reflects precision when you provide it with purpose. It also reflects your willingness to act. Attraction is not passive, it amplifies what you commit to. If you desire success but remain in a state of hesitation, the mirror will reflect stagnation. But once you take bold, aligned action, the reflection shifts to match your movement. Action sends a stronger signal than thought alone. The mirror responds when your behavior proves your belief. The results may not show immediately, but the reflection has already started rearranging in your favor the moment you move with intention. The mirror shows you what you tolerate. If you tolerate low standards, unhealthy environments, or unproductive habits, the reflection reinforces that level of life. But when you raise your standards, remove what drains you, and decide to operate differently, the mirror has no choice but to reflect that upgrade. The law of attraction doesn't give you what you occasionally want, it gives you what you consistently tolerate. Changing your reflection requires changing what you accept as normal. Ultimately, the law of attraction as a mirror teaches you that your reality is not random. It is an expression of your inner world projected outward. When you shift your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your habits, the reflection begins to transform. Life aligns with the energy you choose to embody, and the mirror simply reveals back to you the identity you've been rehearsing internally. Belief must be backed by structure because belief alone creates possibility, but structure turns that possibility into predictable progress. When you believe in a goal without building the systems to support it, you rely on emotion instead of discipline, and emotion fades quickly. Structure gives your belief a backbone. It transforms your intention into a daily pattern that reinforces the future you're reaching for. Without structure, even the strongest belief eventually collapses under the weight of inconsistency. Structure begins with clarity. You cannot support a belief you haven't clearly defined. When you know exactly what you want, why you want it, and who you must become to achieve it, you can design a framework that aligns with that direction. Clarity removes confusion, and where there is no confusion, there is no resistance. Belief thrives when it has a clear target, and structure is built around that target to keep your energy focused and your steps intentional. Consistency is another pillar of structure. Many people believe in their dreams but act in random bursts of motivation. That inconsistency weakens belief because it creates a mismatch between identity and behavior. Structure helps you show up even when you don't feel like it. It turns discipline into a habit instead of a struggle. When your routine reflects your belief becomes unshakable because it is reinforced by action rather than emotion. Structure also protects you from distraction. Belief can be strong, but if your environment pulls you in every direction, you'll lose momentum. A structured plan filters out the noise and narrows your attention. It tells you what matters today, what can wait, and what needs to be eliminated. This level of intentionality strengthens belief because your actions constantly reaffirm your priorities. You no longer guess what to do next. Your structure guides every step. To support belief, structure must include measurable goals. Vague intentions weaken your confidence while measurable steps build it. When you can track your progress, you create a feedback loop that deepens your belief. Each small win becomes evidence that your effort is working. Structure gives your belief proof, and proof strengthens conviction. When conviction grows, action becomes easier and momentum becomes natural. Your structure must also include accountability. Belief is personal, but accountability is relational. When you hold yourself to a higher standard or surround yourself with people who do, you build an environment where excuses lose their power. Accountability forces you to align with your goals, even on days when belief feels distant. It keeps you honest, focused, and grounded in the behaviors required to turn your vision into reality. Structure requires discipline in how you manage your time. Time is the currency of your belief. If your time is unmanaged, your belief becomes wasted potential. A structured schedule ensures that your priorities receive the attention they deserve. It creates boundaries that prevent you from drifting back into old habits. When you manage your time with intention, you honor your belief by giving it room to grow and take shape through repeated action. Your structure must also support your emotional state. Belief can weaken when stress, fear, or doubt take over. Emotional structure means having practices in place, journaling, meditation, affirmations, reflection, that keep your mindset aligned with your goals. It means building resilience so that temporary setbacks don't break your confidence. Emotional structure strengthens belief by keeping your internal world steady, even when the external world challenges you. Structure reinforces identity. When your daily actions match the identity of the person you want to become, belief becomes effortless. You no longer have to force confidence because your habits prove who you are becoming. The more your life aligns with your desired identity, the stronger your belief grows. Structure transforms belief from a vision into a lifestyle, turning aspiration into embodiment. Ultimately, belief must be backed by structure because structure is what turns faith into results. It takes the invisible and makes it tangible. It takes the future you imagine and brings it into the present through discipline, clarity, and consistent action. Without structure, belief fades. With structure, belief becomes unstoppable. Your dominant signal shapes your reality because the energy you consistently project becomes the filter through which you experience life. Whether you realize it or not, you're always broadcasting something through your thoughts, your emotions, your confidence, and your expectations. That internal broadcast shapes how you interpret opportunities, how you respond to challenges, and how people respond to you. When your dominant signal is strong, clear, and aligned with growth, you naturally attract circumstances that match that vibration. But when your dominant signal is filled with doubt or fear, life reflects that back just as powerfully. Your dominant signal is created by your most repeated thoughts, not your occasional ideas. A single moment of positivity can't override a mindset trained in negativity. The signal you carry every day is what forms the foundation of your reality. If your thoughts are filled with limitation, your signal becomes one of scarcity, and you begin to notice everything that confirms lack. But when your thoughts are shaped by possibility, confidence, and expectancy, your signal becomes one of abundance, and your mind begins seeking opportunities to match it. The world doesn't change first, your signal does. Your emotions intensify this signal. Emotion acts as the amplifier of the energy you send out. Strong emotions, whether empowering or disempowering, shape your life more quickly than anything else. Constant worry heightens your awareness of problems. Constant gratitude heightens your awareness of blessings. The emotional tone you live in determines the field of possibilities you allow yourself to perceive. When your dominant emotion is certainty, you move with a force that draws success toward you simply because you believe it's already on the way. Your actions also broadcast your signal. Even when you don't speak, your behavior communicates what you truly expect from life. When you procrastinate, hesitate, or avoid responsibility, you send out a signal that says you're not ready. But when you move with urgency, discipline, and decisiveness, your actions transmit a message of alignment. Opportunities respond to those who behave like they deserve them. The clearer your actions reflect your intentions, the clearer your signal becomes, and the faster your reality begins to shift. Your dominant signal is influenced by the environment you choose. The people around you, the conversations you engage in, and the atmosphere you expose yourself to all reinforce your signal. Negative environments dim your energy and distort your frequency, making it harder for you to attract the life you want. But environments filled with growth, ambition, and high standards elevate your signal. They strengthen the energy you broadcast and push you toward the version of yourself you were meant to become. Your dominant signal also shapes your interpretation of events. Two people can experience the same setback, but their responses differ based on their internal frequency. Someone whose signal is rooted in scarcity sees a setback as failure. Someone whose signal is rooted in abundance sees it as refinement. Your reality is not shaped solely by what happens to you, but by the meaning you assign to it. That meaning comes from your dominant internal state, and that state becomes the lens through which you experience life. Your expectations form another part of your signal. Expectation is the quiet force that predicts your results long before they appear. If you expect struggle, you subconsciously act in ways that create it. If you expect progress, you behave with the confidence that allows you to recognize and seize opportunities. Expectation is not hope, it is certainty. And the stronger your certainty becomes, the more your environment rearranges itself to match that certainty. Your life rises to the level of what you truly expect. Your habits reinforce your signal daily. Every routine you practice, every decision you repeat, and every standard you uphold sends a message about the future you're preparing for. High-level habits send a powerful signal of excellence, and that kind of signal attracts people, opportunities, and resources aligned with high performance. Low-level habits send a signal of stagnation, and life responds accordingly. Your habits are the practical expression of your internal frequency, and they speak louder than your intentions. Your signal also influences the kinds of relationships you form. People are naturally drawn to familiar energy. When your dominant signal is grounded in confidence and direction, you attract individuals who resonate with growth and ambition. But when your signal is rooted in confusion or insecurity, you attract relationships that reflect those patterns. This is why upgrading your internal frequency often results in your relationships shifting. Your signal determines who enters your life and who remains. Your dominant signal shapes your reality because it becomes the blueprint you unconsciously follow. It directs your decisions, attracts your experiences, and influences the opportunities that come your way. When you take responsibility for the energy you broadcast, your thoughts, emotions, habits, and expectations, you take responsibility for the reality you create. The moment you choose to raise your signal, you elevate the future you're stepping into. Gratitude and vision must work together because gratitude roots you in the present while vision pulls you toward the future. When you practice gratitude without vision, you become comfortable with where you are and risk losing the hunger that drives growth. But when you have vision without gratitude, you live in a constant state of dissatisfaction, always chasing what's next without appreciating what has already been given to you. When both work together, they create a balance that fuels progress while maintaining emotional stability. Gratitude elevates your mindset. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already working. This shift is powerful because the mind expands what it focuses on. When you appreciate the progress you've made, even if it's small, you create an atmosphere of positivity that sharpens your motivation. Vision then turns that positive state into direction, giving your gratitude momentum and purpose. Together, they create a cycle where gratitude gives you peace and vision gives you movement. Vision, on the other hand, provides the clarity that gratitude alone cannot offer. It gives your energy a destination. Vision paints a picture of the life you want to build, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to make. Without vision, gratitude becomes passive. But when you combine clear vision with deep appreciation, you create an emotional state where you feel fulfilled with the present, yet excited about the future. This combination fuels resilience during difficult seasons. Gratitude also strengthens your belief in your vision. When you acknowledge how far you've come, you build confidence that the journey ahead is possible. Each blessing you recognize becomes evidence that growth is real, progress is happening, and more is within reach. Gratitude, in this way, becomes the emotional proof that your vision is worth pursuing. It anchors your faith and prevents discouragement from overpowering your ambition. Vision requires emotional fuel to stay alive, and gratitude provides that fuel. Every time you express appreciation for your current blessings, you energize the mindset necessary to chase greater ones. Without gratitude, the weight of setbacks and delays can make your vision feel distant or unrealistic. But with gratitude, even setbacks become lessons and delays become preparation. Your vision stays protected because your gratitude keeps your heart steady. Gratitude also attracts opportunities that support your vision. When you approach life with appreciation, you elevate your energy and become more magnetic. People are drawn to those who radiate gratitude because it signals maturity, humility, and openness. This magnetism aligns with the law of attraction, helping you meet people, ideas, and resources that elevate your vision. Gratitude sets the tone, and vision gives those opportunities direction once they arrive. Vision sharpens the way you use gratitude. Instead of being grateful for random moments, you begin to appreciate the specific things that contribute to your future. You appreciate the challenges because they strengthen you. You appreciate the skills you're learning because they support your purpose. You appreciate the discipline you're developing because it builds your future identity. Vision turns gratitude into a strategic tool rather than a passive feeling. Gratitude keeps your heart humble, while vision strengthens your ambition. This balance prevents you from becoming arrogant at your peak or hopeless at your lowest point. Gratitude reminds you to celebrate what you have, while vision reminds you not to settle. Gratitude teaches you joy. Vision teaches you direction. Together, they protect you from both complacency and burnout, guiding you through every season of growth. Your daily habits reflect the balance between gratitude and vision. When you're grateful, you take care of what you've been given. When you have vision, you work toward what you want next. This balance shapes how you show up, how you think, and how you plan. Gratitude keeps you grounded enough not to rush the process, while vision keeps you focused enough not to abandon it. Both influence your consistency in powerful ways. Ultimately, gratitude and vision must work together because gratitude creates the emotional foundation for success, and vision creates the roadmap. Gratitude strengthens your spirit, and vision strengthens your steps. When you live with gratitude for today and vision for tomorrow, you operate with a harmony that makes progress inevitable and fulfillment natural. You attract what you tolerate because the standards you accept become the boundaries that shape your life. Every time you allow behaviors, environments, or habits that fall below your potential, you send a signal to the world that this level is acceptable. The universe does not give you what you occasionally desire. It gives you what you consistently permit. What you tolerate becomes the baseline of your existence. And once that baseline is set, life responds by reinforcing it through matching experiences. When you tolerate procrastination, you attract delay. Delayed decisions create delayed results, and delayed actions create delayed breakthroughs. If you consistently allow yourself to put off what matters, your environment adjusts to that rhythm. Opportunities that require urgency slip away, momentum fades, and progress slows to a crawl. The moment you stop tolerating procrastination and replace it with urgency, your reality begins to shift toward outcomes that reward decisive action. When you tolerate negative environments, you attract negativity. The conversations, attitudes, and energy around you shape your mindset more than you realize. If you allow yourself to stay around people who drain your confidence or diminish your ideas, you begin to internalize the same limitations. That internal shift influences your decisions, and those decisions shape your future. But when you stop tolerating toxic influences and choose environments that elevate you, you attract relationships and opportunities aligned with growth and empowerment. When you tolerate excuses, you attract stagnation. Excuses create a comfortable prison where responsibility is avoided and progress is postponed. The more excuses you allow, the more they multiply, and the easier it becomes to settle for less. But the moment you stop accepting excuses from yourself, you begin attracting situations that reward discipline, effort, and commitment. The removal of excuses opens the door for real advancement. When you tolerate low standards, you attract low outcomes. Your standards are the blueprint for the quality of your life. If your standards are weak, your results will reflect that weakness. Low standards may feel comfortable, but they create a reality filled with struggles, inconsistencies, and unmet potential. Raising your standards forces everything in your life to elevate your habits, your mindset, your relationships, and your environment. As your standards rise, so does the level of life that is drawn to you. When you tolerate disrespect, you attract relationships that repeat that pattern. People follow the boundaries you set. If you allow others to speak to you in ways that diminish your worth or treat you in ways that drain your peace, they will continue doing so because you've shown them that it's permissible. But the moment you stop tolerating disrespect and enforce clear boundaries, you attract individuals who respect your values and honor your presence. You shift from surviving relationships to cultivating meaningful ones. When you tolerate chaos, you attract confusion. A lack of structure invites stress, disorganization, and mental exhaustion. If you allow your life to be cluttered, physically, emotionally, or mentally, you create an internal state that mirrors that chaos. But when you stop tolerating disorder and commit to clarity, order, and intentionality, your mind becomes sharper, your decisions improve, and your circumstances begin reflecting that newfound structure. When you tolerate mediocrity, you attract average opportunities. Excellence is a magnet for elevated outcomes, but mediocrity sends a signal that you're comfortable with the bare minimum. If you accept average effort from yourself, the world will offer you average rewards. But when you refuse to settle and choose to operate with excellence, even when no one is watching, you begin attracting opportunities that match your upgraded identity. Excellence attracts elevation. When you tolerate fear-driven choices, you attract limitations. Fear shrinks your world and blocks your capacity to dream bigger. If you constantly allow fear to dictate your decisions, your life becomes shaped by avoidance rather than ambition. But when you stop tolerating fear as your guiding force and start making choices based on purpose, conviction, and courage, you attract experiences that expand your potential instead of restricting it. You attract what you tolerate because life aligns itself with the standards you set, not the desires you speak. Every time you refuse to tolerate something that diminishes you, you create space for something that elevates you. Every time you raise the bar for what you allow, you raise the level of what you attract.